it's impossible ever to predict what's going to happen in the Middle East. One incident can change the entire equation. What I see is the escalation, if you will, of the extremist Islamist militias and forces around Israel's borders. They are being fairly successful at this point in taking over territory in Syria and Iraq, and of course moving toward Israel. Syria, of course, borders Israel, and Lebanon borders Israel. Hezbollah has been very active in the Syrian civil war and now seems to be moving in one direction or another to get involved in other conflicts as well. And what we have seen are occasional flare-ups along the border between Israel and Syria and Israel and Lebanon. There have been some casualties on the Israeli side, and this sort of thing always provokes, if you will, an Israeli response, as well it should. No country would allow its soldiers to be killed from across the border and not do anything about it. The danger, of course, is always the escalation, and you never know what's going to set that off. If there is one attack that kills a number of people on either side, things could spiral out of control. At this point, it's fairly clear to me that neither Iran nor Hezbollah has an interest in actually setting off a war. Hezbollah is stretched pretty thin because of its commitments in Syria, and Iran, of course, is stretched pretty thin economically because of the Western sanctions that have been imposed over its nuclear program. So chances are the cooler heads on both sides, and there are, those two sides would really rather not escalate things beyond the occasional skirmish so that they can show that they're battling the Zionist enemy. That said, these things are totally unpredictable, and practically anything can happen, and practically at any time.